What I was going to do today was more focusing on the upper body, chest, rotating of the ribs, breathing, and those kind of things. So that's what, because if our ribs are slumped, then our ribs can't separate. So getting our ribs up and open by opening the front here, then focusing on breathing sideways, then we get rotation back, then we get mobility back. And then that frees up the load on the lower back as well. So I thought I'd focus a bit more on that today. Anyway, so sitting on your mat here, not in the center of the page, I like to be in the center. Right, so just rubbing those hands down those legs and leaning, reaching forward. So get a stretch through that lower back as you reach forward. And then bringing those hands back up towards the groin, sitting up tall, and then rubbing. So as you rub, push the balls of your hands into the muscle and use your thumbs and your forefingers down either side of your shin. Pull yourself forward. So when I first come forward, it's a bit like, ooh, that's a bit tight, that's a bit stretchy. Let the knees come up and then push the knees down and bring the body vertical. And then run those hands down the legs and let that back stretch, let those knees lift up, push that head up over those toes, and then sit up nice and vertical. And then running those hands down. So thinking of a nice even curve through our spine. So push the tailbone in the floor, and I'm just going to look down towards my crutch, and I'm going to check that my nose is in line with my breastbone, in line with my tummy button, in line with my crutch. So I'm not twisting. I'm keeping even weight on my seat bone, so I can shimmy from side to side. Pull on those ankles, push that head towards those toes. Feel the stretch through the lower back. Push out in that middle back, push out in that upper back. Holding those arms, pulling yourself forward. Push those knees down. Let the toes point, and then bring those toes back. Push those toes away. Bring those toes back. Push them away. Sit yourself up vertical. Bring them back. Push the toes away. Bring them back. Turn the toes to the left. Turn them right. Turn them left. Keep the toes towards you. Turn them right. Feel the stretch through the arch of the foot. Turn left, do a circle with your foot one way, and again, and over to the left, the other way. So I feel my left sole of my foot, stop there, pull the toes up, lean yourself forward, take the hands over the toes. I feel the left arch of my foot is way tighter than the right. Slide those hands forward so that let the knees come up, just allowing the toes to sit in the crux of the wrist. Fingertips in the arch of the foot. And pull on those balls of the hands to pull those toes down. So I can feel I have a kind of ganglion coming on one of my tendons in my foot, so that restricts the stretchiness. And that will be caused by a slight twist in the way that I use that foot. So that's happened years ago, or it's been over time, and then suddenly you find, oh, that pulls a bit when I move my feet around. So we've got to keep moving those feet. Turn those hands so the toes, the thumb's on the top of the toes. Push the thumb on the big toe. Push it on the second one. Push it on the third one. Push it on the fourth. Push it on the fifth. Put those fingers over those toes and push. So I had a hammer toe when I was about 10. It's in my the toe next to my little toe. And I had an operation on it, and the little toe slides under that one, and I get a corn on it. So that makes me walk wrong. I twist on that foot, which has caused issues in my knee and my hip on that side, and I'm pretty sure that's what's going on with the tendon in the sole of my foot. Slide those hands over. So I'm sharing that. Pull those toes down. I'm sharing that with you because even though I do all of this, I still have lots of things which come up like that, which are just from time. Slide those hands up the legs, roll those shoulders up to the ears, down and back, put the hands on the floor, pull the upper arms towards each other, use the heels and pull forward on the front bottom, point those toes. Flex those ankles, lift that chest up, push those knees into the ground. Take the chin up to the sky, breathing in. Really fill those lungs and then let them release. Pull that chin down towards the floor. Breathing in. Breathing out. Push those hands into the floor. Bring those eyes up to the center. Turn the head round to the right. Pull the shoulder blades together. Pull that right nostril over that right shoulder. So your lungs are like bellows. If you push them empty, then they just suck air back in. Bring those eyes round to the left. Pull the left nostril. So if we shallow breathe, we have to make an effort to breathe in, breathe out. If we empty the lungs completely, then when we relax, the air gets siphoned back in. Bring that eyes to the front. Same thing. If we fill the lungs, then the air gets siphoned out, and it's just a cycle, an automated cycle. Pull those upper arms towards each other. Bring that chin all the way down into the chest. Pull that chin down. Pull that nose down. Pull the top of the head down. Pull the shoulders away, pulling them together, and then release the head. Pop those hands on the legs. Slide them all the way forwards. Breathing in. Breathing out. And then sit yourself up tall. Left hand on right knee, right hand behind. Lift that chest up, turn that body around. Pull the chin over that shoulder, pull the nose over that shoulder. And then release. Put the right hand on the left knee, left hand behind. Pull that chin over that shoulder, pull that nose over that shoulder. And then come back round to the front. Bring those arms up in front of you, breathing in. On the out breath, lower one vertebra at a time down to the floor. Curling through that back, so we're massaging and mobilising the back. Bring those arms all the way overhead. And then lengthen those hands away from the feet. Push that right hand away from the right foot. And push that left hand away from that left foot. And push both hands away from both feet. And then pull those shoulders down towards the waist. Bring those arms up to the sky, breathing in. On the out breath, chin into the chest and slowly roll yourself all the way back up. Keep going forward, all the way over. So we're just moving that back, mobilising it. Good, reaching all the way forward, let the knees come a little bit soft, and then push them down. And then sit yourself up nice and tall. Okay, grab your roller in, mum, grab your ball in. Pop the roller or ball behind you. And rest the elbows. Bring those knees up. Breathing in. Breathing out. Let that body take hold of the head in the hands. Let that body arch. So push the breastbone up to the sky. Let the head tip down to the floor. Empty those lungs. Do not hold your breath. Breathing in. Breathing out. Bring that head back up. Put the elbows on the floor or on the ball. Move it a little bit further. Take hold of the head. Breathing in. Breathing out. Push the chest up. So my head tips back because my chest tips up. It's just like a seesaw. One goes up, the other one goes down. Push the back into the ball or roller. Lift that head back up. Move the roller up a bit more. Breathing in. Breathing out. Push that chest up. Push that head down. So we push the tailbone into the floor. We're arching. Tailbone down, breastbone up, head down. Push the back into the ball. Using the tummy muscles, lift that head back up. Move that ball up, the body up a little bit further. Breathing in. On the out breath, lower. And then push the back into the ball or roller and lift up. One more, moving it just a little bit further, and then see if you can rest your head or you're on the back of the ball or the roller. Just rocking it a little bit. So your shoulders should be off the floor even if you've got the ball, and your head just resting over it, neck just nice and lengthened. And then take the head in the hands and then roll that roller down towards those bottom ribs. And then roll back up towards the base of the neck. And then roll down towards those bottom ribs. And then roll up towards the base of the neck. And then roll down. So not Hillary, Helen, lean on your right hand side, just like you would have done in that morning, the other video, and just go up and down there. Take 4 up and downs to get all the way over onto your right hand side. So no, don't turn over like that. Come back onto your back. So watch me. So I'm going up and down on the middle. And then I turn 5 degrees. I go up and down here. So mum, sit yourself up, off the ball, grab that roller in. And we're going to go on the side. So then you go over a little bit more, Helen. And then you go over it. But do a whole up and down. So as if your body is pastry and you're rolling the entire area of that back. So mum, sit yourself up tall here. Bring that roller in. Sitting on the side, and then slide down and rest it under the armpit. So Helen, keep rolling up and down. So we're going to push, we're going to just lengthen over the roller, and then we're going to lift. We're going to move it up, rest the bum, lengthen over the roller, and then lift. And then move yourself up a bit, lengthen over the roller, and then lift. And then move that roller, so moving it all the way through. So Helen, just stop in the armpit and then roll forwards and backwards. And then move it ever so slightly, slowly. If your neck's sore, support it with the underneath arm. Just rocking forwards and backwards through the ribs, over the roller. And you can rest your bum, bump your bum on the ground, mum. So I'm rocking, tipping forwards, tipping back. Tipping forwards and then move. Tipping forwards, tipping back, and then move. Tipping forwards, tipping back, tipping forwards. And then you can move your whole body again, all the way up, all the way down. So we're massaging around that shoulder blade. And then leaning back onto the back. Actually, just sorry, don't roll onto, come back onto your side again, Helen. So get that, support yourself so the roller can move, and rest that bra strap area, rest the roller in that bra strap area. Straighten that underneath leg, and then straighten actually I've got a slight bend, but my knees are stacked. The dog would move, you could see. Take the underneath arm straight, and then take the top arm all the way over. Take hold of that top arm with that underneath arm and stretch. Bed, 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 bed. Come on. Stretch. So leaning that, straighten that left leg, straighten that left hand. Stretching, so I'm lengthening over the roller. So I feel the stretch all the way through my top ribs. Reaching. And then I can just a little bit rock forwards and backwards. So Helen, you can be as daring as you want. Mum, just take it easy. Do it however much you feel comfortable. And then bring that top arm back in. Lift that body up. Helen, you can roll back onto your back. And Mum, you can just lift yourself up and turn yourself all the way over onto the other side. So I'm going to have my back to you this time. So I'm going to put my elbow on the floor. So Helen, roll all the way up and down like we did on the other side, all the way up and down to get all the way over. So you're starting flat, going up and down here, tipping over 5 degrees up and down, tipping over another 5 up and down, tipping over another 5 up and down till you get all the way onto your side. So Mum, put your elbow on the floor, have the roller loose. And then you're going to rest those bottom ribs on the roller and stretch over it. And reach up. Move that body down a bit, or move the roller and stretch over it. And reach back up. Move the roller. Stretch over. Push the ribs to the sky. And then lift that head up. Move the roller. Push the ribs to the sky. And then release. Get the roller up to the armpit, rock forwards and back, forwards and back. Tip forwards, tip backwards. Tip forwards, and then I can move my body up. Tip forwards, tip backwards. Tip forwards, tip backwards. Move my body up. Tip forwards and backwards. Forwards and back. Forwards and back. All the way up. And then all the way back down. So you can put as much weight on your bum as you need and your elbow, but you can lift your ribs up so that you allow as much or as little pressure on those ribs. And then lengthening that left arm straight, have the left leg a bit bent and lengthen that right leg. Bring that right arm up into the sky. Bring it all the way overhead. Take hold of that right wrist in the left hand and pull it down towards the floor. Pushing that right leg away, pushing that right hand away, stretching through those ribs on that right hand side. Let that head come loose. And then release that right arm. And then release yourself. So Helen, you're going to roll all the way up and down, back onto the back. And then Mum, you're going to turn yourself round so that you're sitting with the bum on the floor. The roller is in that bra strap area. Take hold of the head, breathing in. Breathing out, lengthening all the way over. And you can put a pillow on the floor under your head if you want, or you can rest your head on the floor. Take hold of those hands, lengthen them away. Take hold of those legs, lengthen them away too. Reaching, breathing in. Breathing out, bring those hands back in. Take them behind the head, lifting, bring those feet back in. And then bringing yourself all the way back up to sitting. So we've mobilized and stretched the thoracic spine over the roller. Now move the roller out of the way. So sitting up nice and tall. Bring those arms in front. Reaching all the way forwards over the top of those feet. Try to keep the knees down. So trying to keep the body straight. So we can hold behind the legs if we want and lift that head up to the sky. So we pull forward, but we keep that torso straight. Good. And then lean forwards, Mum, in that position. So you're taking your chest towards, or your tummy button towards your thighs. Breathe in and then breathe out. Roll, curl forward and reach those hands over those feet. And then lift the body straighter and lift the body all the way to vertical. Glide forwards, keeping the body vertical. Round the back and reach. Straighten the back, lift the chest. Come back up to vertical. Lean forwards, reaching those hands over those feet. Arching that back, reaching and stretching. Lengthening that back, making it straighter, bring that body up. So when we lengthen, roll the shoulders up to the ears, down and back. Visualize you're turning the inside of the elbows up so the shoulder blades are connecting. Glide that body forward, lifting my chest up, using my tummy muscles to hold me. Pull my knees down, feel the tension in the thighs. Now round the back and reach. Now straighten the back and lift. And bring yourself up nice and tall. Roll those shoulders up to the ears, down and back. Put the left hand on the right knee. Right hand behind, lift and turn. And then come to the front. Put the right hand on the left knee. Left hand behind, lift and turn. Bring yourself up nice and tall. Hands up in front of you. I have a slight challenge because I want to roll back and there is something in my way. So rolling back onto the ground. Come on, off. Got there. No. 9. Go on there. Go on there. Go on. Rolling yourself all the way down to flat. Bring those arms all the way overhead. Push that right foot away from the right hand. Push that left foot away from that left hand. Push both feet away from both hands. Let those shoulders shrug up to the ears. Now pull those shoulders down to the waist. Now bring those arms all the way up to the sky. Push those hands right up and flatten that back into the floor. Now pull those shoulders down, squeezing those shoulder blades together. So push the back of the head into the floor and let your shoulders just lift off the ground a little bit. So they're just, mine is still touching, but they're just light. Pushing the tailbone down, pushing the head down. Release, flatten the back into the floor and lengthen. Breathing in. On the out breath, lift the back, pull the shoulders into the ground, pushing the back of the head into the floor. So the shoulders just lift slightly. So we realign the neck, push those hands up to the sky, reach the shoulders forward, flatten the back. Bring those shoulders into the ground, pushing the back of the head into the ground, pushing those, the tailbone into the ground. And now reaching those hands up, flattening the back. Bring those hands out wide to the floor, squeeze those shoulder blades together, push the back of the head into the floor. Bring those hands up to the sky, flattening the back. Bring those hands all the way out wide, lift that back up. Bring those hands up into the sky. Bring the right knee in, hug that knee in. Bring the left knee in, hug that knee in. Lengthen the head from the tailbone, so make sure your shoulders are on the ground, push the back of the head in the floor, so my shoulder blades are flat on the floor. Pulling the knees in, pushing the tailbone down. Push that right leg out straight, pushing that left knee in. Breathing in. Pull that left knee over the body, push that left hand away, turn the eyes left. Push the left shoulder after the hand, push the left hip after the knee, breathing in. Breathing out, push that hand away, push that knee away. Turning the tummy button up to the sky, turning the breastbone after the hand. Release, come back onto your back, pull that left knee in again. Push that right knee away. Push the tailbone into the floor, have a small lift on the lower back, shoulders are flat on the ground, back of the head pushing into the floor. Pull that left leg all the way over the body, push that left hand away. Turn the eyes left. Turn the eyes left after the hand, pushing the head, the left ear to the ground. And then rolling back onto the back, pulling that left knee in. Turning that left leg, bring that right leg in. Put the left foot on the right knee, push that left knee away. Pull the right knee towards, push that left knee away. Push that right knee towards, push that left knee away. Breathing in. Holding that right knee away. Now push the knee into the hand. Push the knee into the hand, breathing in. And on the out breath, release, lengthen, pushing the knee away. Push that knee away. Now release, let that right leg go out straight, pull the left leg over the body again, turn the eyes left. Pushing the shoulder after the hand, turning the eyes after the hand. And then roll onto that right hand side. Support the head with the underneath arm. Take hold of the left foot in that left hand. Let that right foot drift forward, pushing that foot in the hand, lengthen. So draw your core in and make sure that your pubic bone, tummy button, breastbone are aligned in front. Pushing that foot into the hand, keep those shoulders back and down, lengthen. Lengthen that leg away. And then release. Release, good. Roll back onto the back. Roll back onto the back. Put that left leg straight. Take those arms all the way overhead. Notice the difference in the legs, how the left leg feels flatter to the floor. The hip feels more extended. The knee feels down. Bring that right leg in. Take hold of it with those hands. Pull it in. Push the tailbone down. Push those shoulders down. Neutral spine. Pulling that right knee in. Breathing in. Pull that right leg over the body. Put that right hand away. Turn the eyes right. Pulling that hand, the knee to the floor. Breathing in, breathing out. Lengthen. So my stomach feels tight or taut. My ribs feel taut. My shoulder feels like it wants to lift off the floor. I lengthen my hand away. I bring the tummy button to the sky, feel the stretch in that lower back, pull that knee down, letting those hips follow the knee. Roll back on the back, bring that knee in. Breathing in on the out breath, push that knee over, push that hand away, lengthen. Following the eyes after that hand. And then roll back on the back, pull that knee up. Turn that leg, put the right foot against the left leg, pull the left leg towards, pushing that right hand on that, the right hand on that right knee, lengthening. Now push the knee into the hand, breathing in. Breathing out, push that knee into the hand. Breathing in. Breathe out, release. Lengthen the right leg away, stretching through that hip. And then release the left leg. Release the right foot. Pull the right knee in. And then pull that right leg all the way over the body again. Reaching it to the floor, pushing that hand away. Pushing that eyes over towards that hand. All the way over. Breathing in. Breathing out, and then roll onto that left-hand side. Roll onto the left, let the left leg drift forward, take hold of the right foot in that right hand. Push that right foot away. Push that right foot away, clenching with the bum, lengthening, breathing in, let that right shoulder stretch. Breathing out. Lengthen. Breathing in. Breathing out. And then release. Release the right leg, roll back onto the back. Bring the right knee in towards the body. And then lengthen that leg away, lengthen those hands away, reach and stretch. Breathing in. Breathing out, bring those arms all the way up into the sky. Bring those elbows onto the floor. Slide the fingers under the bum and lift that chest up, squeezing through those shoulder blades. Breathing in. Breathing out. And then release. Okay, roll yourself over onto your tummy. Roll over onto your tummy. Right. Put those forearms level with the long side of the mat. Clench with the bum, push the pubic bone in the floor. Tighten the thighs, lift those knees and feet off the ground. Draw that belly in and lift it off the floor. Roll those shoulders up to the ears, down and back. Push those forearms into the floor. Breathing in. Loosen that head and neck. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out, lift that upper body up using those shoulder blades, pulling them together, lengthening the legs, pushing the elbows into the floor, drawing the tummy so that that's lifted. Knees and feet are light on the ground, pushing that breastbone forward, squeezing those shoulder blades back, breathing in, breathing out, release and lower down. So we're opening the chest. Breathing in on the out breath, push those forearms and hands into the floor. Lengthen the legs, clenching the bum, draw the tummy in. Push the breastbone forward. Push the head away from the toes. Pull the, rotate that head so that we're lifting the right ear away from the shoulder, left ear away, right ear away, left ear away. Right ear, left ear, and then release. Hold it straight. Push those shoulder blades together, open that chest. Imagine there's a candle under your chin and it's lifting your head away from the floor. And then release. Breathing in. On the out breath, lengthen the legs, lift that upper body, opening that chest. And then release. Turn the eyes to the left, let that right arm slide away slightly. Bring that left knee up, bring that left hand flat, tip that body over onto the right hand side and lifting the left side up. Now push that right arm into the floor. Feel the stretch through that right chest. Push that right arm into the floor, breathing in. On the out breath, release the push, lift the left side up higher, stretch through that chest. Push that right arm into the floor, breathing in. On the out breath, release and lift that left side higher, feel the stretch through that chest. Push that right arm into the floor. Breathing in. On the out breath, release the push, lift that left side higher. And then release. Let that left leg go straight. Take the eyes down to the floor, bring the left arm down. Turn the eyes right, bring the right palm into the floor, lift that right knee up, slide that left arm out, feeling that feeling the stretch through the left side of the body, lift that the right side up using the leg and the hand. Push that left arm into the ground. Breathing in. Breathing out, keeping that left shoulder away from the ear, keeping the right shoulder away from the ear, pushing that left arm in. Breathing in. On the out breath, release the push and then push off the hand and the knee, lifting that body up, stretching through that chest, breathing in. On the out breath, push that arm into the floor. And then breathing in. On the out breath, release the push and lift the body higher. And then release, let that body come down, let those legs come straight. Roll those shoulders up to the ears, down and back. Push off those forearms and keep the hands flat on the floor. Roll the shoulders up to the ears, down and back. Clench the bum, lengthen the legs. Push off those forearms and come into that cobra. So we're lifting the chest. Eyes are coming up, breathing in. And then breathing out and lower. Breathing in. On the out breath, push off those hands and forearms. Draw in the tummy, lengthen the legs so the knees and feet are off the ground. And then release, lower down. Pull those shoulders up to the ears, down and back. Clench the bum, push the pubic bone in the floor. Lift that left leg up and lower. Lift that, clenching with the bum, lift the right leg up and lower. So we're straightening the leg, point the toe. Now push the pubic bone in the floor using the bum, lift that left leg up and release. Same leg. Clench with the bum, push the pubic bone in, lift that left leg up. Release. So this is how you should feel with walking. You step on that left foot, clench the bum, lift the leg up, which draws the body forward over the foot. And release. Clench the bum, lift that left leg up. And release. One more. Clench the bum, lift that left leg up. So there's no action on the lower back, it's all bum. Release. Okay, right leg. So point the toe and straighten the leg. Clench the bum, push the pubic bone in the floor, lift that right leg and release. Point the toe, clench the bum, push that pubic bone in the floor, lift that right leg up and release. Two more. Clench the bum, lift that right leg up. So we're lifting by pushing the pubic bone down and release. One more. Clench and lift. And release. Okay, both legs. So loosen the, just rocking side to side on your pelvis. Roll those shoulders up to the ears, down and back. Stabilize and centralize your pelvis. Point the toes. Now clench the bum, drive the pubic bone in the floor and lift those legs up. And release. Clench the bum, drive the pubic bone in the floor, lift. Hold it here. Now lift the tummy away from the floor. And then release those legs. Clench the bum, drive the pubic bone in the floor, keep the belly lifted, holding. Lift the left leg up for 3, 2, 1. Lift the right leg, 3, 2, 1. Lower it down. Roll the shoulders up to the ears, down and back. Clench the bum, push the pubic bone in the floor, lift both legs. Lift the right leg up for 3, 2, 1. Lift the left leg, 3, 2, 1. Push the pubic bone in the floor. Lift both legs higher. Feel the burn in your bum. Release both legs down and relax. Breathing in. Breathing out. So breathing in. Clench the bum, lengthen the legs, don't lift them so high. Push off those forearms, lift that upper body up. And then lower. Keep the head on the floor, lift both arms up. Tap the elbows down. Lift both arms up. Tap the elbows down. Lift both arms up. Lift the left arm up. 3, 2, 1. Lift the right arm. 3, 2, 1. Lower arms and legs down. Roll the shoulders up to the ears, down and back. Keep the forehead on the ground. Lift, clench the bum, draw the, push the pubic bone in the ground. Lengthen those legs and lift the tummy up. Lift both arms up. Take them out to a scarecrow. Lift the right arm up. 3, 2, 1. Lift the left arm. 3, 2, 1. Lift both arms. 3, like you're flying. 2, 1. Bring those hands down over your bum. Hold those hands together. Push those hands away. Lift both hands up. Lift both legs up for 3, 2, 1. And then release everything down. Bring your arms back so they're bent in that pitchfork position. Keeping the forehead on the ground. Clench the bum, push the pubic bone in the floor, lift both legs. Draw in the tummy, breathing in, lengthen the legs. Lift both arms up in the sky. Pulse them for 3, 2, 1. Take them out straight in a scarecrow. Lift them, 3, 2, 1. Bring them down over your bum, palms together, push those hands away. Now reach the hands to the feet and lift the head up off the ground. Draw the tummy in, pulse the arms up, 3, 2, 1. Lift the right leg, 3, 2, 1. Lift the left leg, 3, 2, 1. And then lower everything back to the floor. Breathing in, breathing out. Roll the shoulders up to the ears, down and back. Bring those hands round to the level with your nose, or actually level with your chin. Elbows in the air. Roll the shoulders up to the ears, back and down. Clench the bum, lengthen those legs. Lift that upper body up. Come onto the tummy, onto the bottom ribs. Breathing in. On the out breath, lift onto those thighs. Breathing in. On the out breath, lift onto the knees. And then push the bum in the air and go back into child pose. Stretching through that lower back. Stretching through that middle back. Stretching through that upper back. Just staying here, stretching, breathing in, breathing out. Oi. Leaning back, pushing those hands forwards, push those armpits down to the floor. Now pull the knees apart and lift yourself up onto all fours. Good, well done. So chest down, Helen, a bit, so a neutral spine, chest, not tummy. So push your chest through between your fingers. Good, Mum, excellent. Draw your stomachs in, both of you, so you're not sagging the lower back quite so much. Good, turn, right, that's neutral. So now we're going to turn the tailbone down, push the back up, bring the eyes down. Turn that tailbone up, bring the belly down, bring those eyes up. Turn that tailbone down, bring the back up, bring the eyes down. Turn that tailbone up, bring the belly down, bring those eyes up. Slide those hands forwards on the floor, stretching through those armpits. Reaching, breathing in. Breathing out, reaching the hands forward, reaching the armpits down. Forehead or chin or nose on the floor. So just try and open up those shoulders. Push that left hand into the floor. Push that right hand into the floor. Push both hands into the floor. Lengthen. Breathing in. Breathing out. Drag the body backwards. And then lift yourself back up onto all fours. Good. Turn that tailbone down. Push the back up. Bring those eyes down. Turn that tailbone up. Bring the belly down. Bring those eyes up. Put the weight on your right hand. Lift that left hand all the way up into the sky. So we're trying to push the right shoulder forward and the left shoulder back. So we can pulse it. Right shoulder, left shoulder back, right shoulder forward. 3, 2, 1. Now swing that arm all the way through under the right shoulder. Pushing, stretching. Breathing in. Breathing out. Push off that right hand. Bring that left hand high. Release that left arm all the way through. Try to get your body so your shoulders go from here, where the left shoulder is going under the right shoulder. I push off that right hand and I bring the left shoulder above the right shoulder. So the shoulders rotate through 180 degrees or more. 180, all the way down and through. And then push up and come back onto all fours. Turn the tailbone down, push the back up. Oi! Sorry. Turn the tailbone up, push the belly down, bring the eyes up. Trying to stop my dog licking her. She's got some stitches. Turn the tailbone up, down, push the back up, eyes down. Turn that tailbone up, bring that belly down, bring those eyes up. Slide those hands forwards on the floor, bring that chin to the ground. Breathing in, push the right arm down, push the left arm down, push both arms down. Slide the body back. Come back up onto all fours. Weight on the left hand, bring that right arm up into the sky. Push the left shoulder forward, push the right shoulder back, pulse it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Swing that right hand all the way down and through. All the way through. Breathing in. On the out breath, push off that left hand, bring that right arm up. Stretch through the back, put the left shoulder under the right, right shoulder above the left. Swing that hand through, bring the left shoulder above the right, right shoulder under the left. Push off that hand, bring that those shoulders around. Come back onto all fours. Turn that tailbone up, bring that back down. Like that. Sorry. Turn that tailbone the other way. Push the back up. And then sink the belly down. Bring the tailbone up. Come into neutral. Bring the left ear to the left shoulder, left hip. So wagging the tail of the dog. So, and actually walk those hands round to the left. Push the side out to the right, stretching, bringing the left ear to the left hip, and then walk those hands around to the right, pulling the right ear to the right hip, stretching through the left side, stretching through the left ribs. Come back to the center. Turn yourself around, come to sitting. Have you guys got sticks? Yeah, have you got a stick, Helen? Okay. Grab your sticks. So, sitting on the floor. Sorry, it's a bit disturbed with the furry creature. Roll those shoulders up to the ears, down and back. Roll those shoulders up to the ears, down and back. Hold behind the thighs. Oh, Helen's just gone off to get her stick. Hold behind the thighs. Bring those hands on the floor behind and lift that chest so we really get nice and strong. Use those heels and pull yourself forwards on the floor with the heels. So you're right on your middle bottom. Lift that chest up. So look at the eyes horizontal to the floor. Looking nice and straight forward. Right, release the hands on the floor and take hold of the stick. Okay, so holding behind the thighs, lifting the chest, rolling those arms up and back, shoulders up and back, put the hands on the floor, push forward onto that front bottom, lift that chest, release those hands, keeping on the middle bottom, keeping the body vertical above, take hold of that stick, take the ends. Hold the stick, push it forwards, bring it back, really pulling those shoulder blades together, touching the stick on the chest, keeping the elbows at hand height and the elbows pulling behind you, pushing forwards. Good, pulling the stick back. So pulling this elbows together, pushing the chest as if you're trying to break this stick, bring the stick back, as if you're trying to break the stick around your body. So you lift your chest up, so you're opening. You're not allowing a round here. Opening, pulling back, push those hands forward. Bring those stick back to the chest. Push the stick up in the air. Pull the knees down to the floor. Right, we're going to tip over to the right. So the right hand of the stick is about a foot away from my bum. Left hand is on top of the stick. Yeah, so resting the stick on the floor here. Now push the top end to the right. So I'm staying in one plane, stretching my body, reaching, using the stick as a guide. So don't lean forwards. And then push the left hand onto the stick and bring yourself back up to vertical. Keep this right, hang on, keep the right end of the stick on the ground. So keep the same side and then push and reach. So I've got my right hand on the floor supporting me. And then push to back up to vertical. And then same side, push and reach, stretch through those ribs, stretch through that armpit. And then come back. Lift that stick all the way up into the sky. Bring that left hand down by about a foot away from the bum. And then push that right hand over the left hand, reaching. Staying straight, don't lean forward, don't twist. So the stick is keeping you honest. Push off that right hand and come back up. Keep the left hand on the floor. And then reach and glide to the right, pushing over that stick. And then coming back up to vertical. One more to the left. Reach and glide, so I'm not tilting. And then coming back up, bring that stick above you. Bring that stick in front of you. Pull that stick to your chest. Keep going. 4 more minutes. Lift the chest up. Push the stick forward. Bring the stick up in the sky. Bring the stick down behind the back. Behind your head. Lift the chest up. Soften your knees if you need. Push that stick up into the sky. Bring that stick down behind the head. Push the stick up. Bring the stick down. Yeah, so have it down behind you. We're going to pulse it backwards for 3, 2, 1. Push it up. Bring it over in front. Turning to the right. Back to the center. Turning left. Back to center. Turning right, back to center, turning left, back to center, reaching forward, drop the stick over the toes, lift the chest and then push the stick away and stretch that back, loosening that head and neck, breathing in, release, lower the stick onto the floor. Lift yourself up nice and tall. Put that left hand on the right knee, right hand behind, lift and turn. And then come the other way, right hand on the left knee, left hand behind, lift and turn. Bring those arms up in front of you. And then lower yourself all the way down to the floor. Bring those arms all the way up over the head, reach and stretch. Pull the shoulders away from the ears, bring the arms up to the sky. Bring in the left knee, bring in the right knee, lift the tailbone up and release. Lift the tailbone up and release. Push that left leg out straight. Bring that right leg over the body, turn the eyes right, keep the right foot on the left leg. Push that right hand away, push the hip after the knee and the shoulder after the hand, turn the tummy button to the sky. And then roll back onto the back. Bring that right knee in towards the chest. And then bring that left knee in towards the chest. And then put that right leg out straight. Breathing in on the out breath. Bring that left knee over the body. Turn the eyes left. Bring the knee to the floor. Keep the shoulder away from the ear. Lengthen. Roll back onto the back. Let both legs out straight. Roll those shoulders up to the ears, down and back. Push the hands down towards the feet. Palms up. Breathing in. Find neutral spine. Feel those shoulders flat on the floor, so jiggle yourself around till they are. Pull those ribs down. Arching that lower back, flattening that lower back. Arching. Roll yourself all the way up to sitting. Sit yourself up nice and tall. Reaching forwards over those feet. Coming up to neutral. Bring those arms all the way up in the sky. Bring those arms all the way out wide and dust the floor. Bring those arms all the way up in the sky. Reach up tall. Bring those arms all the way down wide. Rest your hands on your legs and roll your shoulders. Good one. Well, sorry about my dog's behaviour.